Hi, my name is Michelle Robinson, and I'm an artist based here in Los Angeles. I became interested in advocating for the environment of the LA River through my work almost from the beginning when I first moved here to LA. I've always either lived along the river or worked nearby the river. My commute to work every day takes me along the river. And I became really curious about the structure and the history of it and why it's so strange, why it looks the way it does. And after reading about it and understanding more about its history, I was really interested in sharing some of that experience with other people. The large piece titled What Was is an overlay of an image of a natural section of the river further upstream, superimposed over an image of the channelized river as it runs through downtown LA. And that image of trees and rocks and gravel and vegetation is meant to show you what used to be there before the river was brought over, and at the same time what could be there if the river was restored. And it is a hand-painted image on the top of an archival pigment fret. The project that I'm calling a field guide to lost wishes are embroidered portraits of the animals that were extricated from the river as a result of modification for flood control. And these are animals that are really dependent on the natural seasonal cycle of the river. They were dependent on the slower motion of the water. Right now, the water just flows right through to the ocean and doesn't stop on the way. So there are no pools of water where fish can grow, where turtles can live, and so on. So each of these animals are animals that are gone because of loss of habitat. And I chose to embroider them because the process of embroidery is a process of really long looking. It's an observational exercise, and almost like penitential, elegiac exercise in rendering this animal. So I come to know them really well through the process of embroidery. This style of embroidery is often called needle painting, and it's because I'm not following any prescribed stitch. There are stitches in embroidery that everyone knows, like chain stitch or satin stitch. In this case, I'm sort of freehand stitching with the idea that I want to render the animal, and I want to follow the flow of the feathers or the fur with the stitching. And then I'm also trying to think about painting principles like color mixing and visual color mixing. So even though I have this amazing array of colors, the color isn't always there that I want. So sometimes I'll mix two together. I'll pull two threads from similar colors and blend them as I go, and in a way that to me feels like I'm referencing painting. And it also kind of connects me back to my first love, which was painting. Black embroidered area has been stitched onto some material that is dissolvable in water. So when I submerge this, let's see what happens. There we go. So now it's starting to fall apart and unravel. Then the unraveling portion, as we can look at the image, you can see that the rear portion is starting to dissolve. It's becoming black. It's fading away. That is actually an indication of the animal's status in the state of California, whether it's threatened or endangered or a species of special concern. The amount that is being eroded away is a sort of almost bar graph indicator of that status in the state of California. And embroidering that portion on a piece of material that will dissolve in water. And so when I submerge the embroidered piece in water, it dissolves and it actually unravels. So I'm hoping that my art will raise awareness of the situation that the LA River's in by encouraging people to feel some empathy for these creatures. Building empathy for non-human bodies is really important, I think, in terms of creating concern and care about our environments. I'm also trying to show through the altered photograph the way in which the river used to appear and could possibly appear again in the future if we were able to, let's say, remove some of the concrete from the bottom of the river. Really, the hope is that this work will spur some conversation and create interest in the community at large and being involved in the river conservation plans that are currently in the works.